First thing and foremost, all praises, honor, and glory and respect is forever due unto the true and living power, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash. Giving double honor to the elder apostles and elder bishops and the elders at the Great Millstone GMS who rule well, who teach well. And salutations to the hopeful elect. Yahweh Ratazar, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if it's your first time around here. So, yeah. Alright. Perilous times we're in, man, really. Okay. And it's just going to get worse from here on out. Alright. So, I've got this article from independent.co.uk and it was put up today on Wednesday, the 20th of May, 2026, the year of apostate sellouts and agents. We got the ISUP gay saying Moses fell out of the truth. Madness, man. Lost the plot right there, man. Huh. And got them two magpies as well from TCG Ministry. Anyway, government urged supermarkets to limit food prices according to reports. The proposals would see grocers cap the price of essential groceries such as eggs, bread and milk, according to the Financial Times. Yeah. You know. Anyway, let's go down. The government must focus on how it will reduce the public policy costs which are pushing up food prices, the British Retail Consortium has said after reports the Treasury asked supermarkets to limit food prices in return for the lifting of some regulations. The proposals would see shops voluntarily cap the prices of essential groceries such as eggs, bread and milk, according to the Financial Times. That's what I mean to say, yeah. You know, your basic, cheap. That's all. When inflation kicks in higher, all right, and then hyperinflation, watch your bread, milk, and egg be what go up to like £75, £100. Okay, $100. All right, €100. Okay, they're I can't remember the term, but it's like they're like your, is it your staple food or something like that? It might not be that, but like your basic cheap foods that everyone can easily get hold of. Your basic of the basics. That everyone has bread and cheese and milk and stuff like that and eggs in their fridge or whatever at home. Okay. But yeah, the price of those are going to increase a lot. The Treasury has said it would in return offer supermarkets, open quote, incentives, end quote, which may include easing packaging policies and delay potentially costly changes to healthy food rules, the newspaper said. Helen Dickinson, the chief executive of the BRC, the leading trade association for retailers, said rather than introduce 1970s style price controls and trying to force retailers to sell goods at a loss, the government must focus on how it will reduce the public policy costs which are pushing up food prices in the first place. And the thing with the consumer mindset, it's like people don't realize and think how food gets to these supermarkets in the first place. People go shopping and see products on the shelves, all right? But they don't think to themselves, wait, there is a whole process of how, food is distributed and things like that. Okay. this, this is a whole supply chain, man. All right. The price of getting things to the shelves in the first place is increasing. All right. Therefore, they will have no choice but to charge the consumer, the customer even more. All this is biblical prophecy anyway. And then questions like this will arise. It'll come to people's minds. Do I put food on the table for children, or do I fill up the tank with petrol or diesel? These dilemmas people are gonna face. Okay. And the supply chain is not the same as how it was before. Yeah, shelves are getting emptier. All right, less and less things there. All right, we're in the time of famines. See, when dire times hit, that's when people will realize. She added, the challenge facing retailers is a combination of higher energy and commodity costs resulting from the Middle East conflict. Yeah, see, and the soaring cost of the government's domestic policies. See, let's in fact, let's go to second address. Go into the Apocrypha. Okay. Again, we're in the time, of famines. And when dire times hit, that's when people will realize, man, and things are getting harder and harder in the UK. Second address, chapter 15 and verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbour, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation. That's self-explanatory. People resort to even eating cat food and dog food. See? It's going to be a scarcity of food, man. And people will turn on each other. Alright? Okay. Go to the next chapter across and go to verse 22. Second Esdras chapter 16, verse 22. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. When people are starving, they do some really horrible things. Scary times. Alright? See, the Lord's elect will not have to worry about that. Okay? This is the book of get it again. It's the book of the prophet Isaiah. Okay, he's a prophet. Within that book, there are prophecies. Okay, chapter 65 and verse 13, and it reads, therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, power, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Behold, my servants shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. That's right. Okay. That's a promise, from the Most High. Servants will eat and be all right. As for everyone else, that famine you'll have to experience. Okay, so that mentality of thinking that the supermarket stores will always have what I need, all right? Well, you better think again, and think again on top of that. Okay. See, people getting into scuffles and and arguments and all sorts during the 2020 L down, over toilet paper and stuff. Okay, so when the famine is in full effect, then just imagine that. No food, no non-perishables, like your pasta, your rice, tin foods. All right. When they become extremely scarce, people will be at it with each other. Okay, but the Lord's elect will be fed and kept. Okay. There you have it. In fact, let's go to the book of Lamentations. This is going to be reality. Lamentations chapter 4, book of Lamentations chapter 4, verse 9, and it reads, they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger, for these pine away, stricken through for one of the fruits of the field. So it's honestly better to go out by having, a gunshot straight to the head. Be extremely painful for what, like less than a split second or a split second, right? But when when you're wasting away, not eating, your body's just eating away itself because you ain't having no food to replenish and restore your health, okay, and get your nutrients. then that's extremely painful. Okay, it's wasting away, withering away, your body just eating out itself. Okay, it'd be good for you obese people anyway, especially ones that are gluttonous, massive people, man. Especially Babylonians, man. You love to eat every couple hours. That's not good. All right, especially with your fast food. All right. Yeah. Okay. Man, just looking at your child or your children. So you know what? This toe I'm gonna eat first. Work my way up to the fingers, and just gnaw on his arm, right arm first. Gnaw on the right leg, and then just work your way all around the body. Okay, and then you got a couple of kids left to eat as well. And I'm gonna be watching you do that too. All right. But yeah, mayhem in the streets soon as well. Anarchy. The word anarchy means without government, lawlessness, right? Neighborhood against neighborhood, block against block, and the racial aspect of it too, man. Living next to or near other people groups. You got Elam over here, Moab over there, E just down the road, right? Scrambling for food, trying to survive. All right. Yeah, Jacob's trouble. Be full effect. All right. It'll be like a time like never before. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the book of Ephesians, chapter 2, and verse 8. And it reads, "For by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of Yahweh, not of works, lest any man should boast." That's right, man. Faith and works complement each other, man. Can't save yourselves. All right. Gonna need the Lord. Let's get a precept in the book of Hebrews. Chapter 4, verse 2. And it reads, "For unto us was the gospel preached, as well as unto them. But the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it." You see that? And if you don't have faith mixed with this word in these last days, then you're finished. Okay? These elites, all right? These Amalekites, man. Your international banking families, your Rothschilds, your Rockefellers. You got your Rothschilds living over here in the UK. All right? Okay? The rest of these other elites, DuPonts, Oppenheimers, usual suspects. All right? Etc. They're brushing the fur of chaos. That's what they want to bring about. They need people at each other's throats, man. A good way to do it is to attack the food supply. Okay, establish even more division to ultimately get everyone sea-hipped. That's the plan. They want their birthright back, but they're not getting it back. All right, have his new world order agenda up and running. Okay. Yeah. And you got these data centers as well. This is from the People's Voice. This is Sean from the People's Voice. Jill Bates insider admits data centers built to kill and replace, in quotes, 200 million Americans by 2030. All right. These data centers are harmful. A data center insider has come forward with horrifying revelations about the AI mega facilities rising across the country. The elites in charge of this are preparing to perpetrate crimes against humanity on a scale the world has never witnessed. And behind these data centers stand the usual suspects. Jill Bates, BlackRock, Palantir. They're racing to build these data centers before the public fully realizes what's unfolding right in front of them. See, and they're coming out to any of this. Okay. See, when we're in the time of this devil getting exposed on a massive level, a big time level. Okay. God, even their own whistleblowers are speaking out against them, man. All right. You see? Let's get a scripture in there. Proverbs 21 and 12. 12 and 21. That's it. Proverbs chapter 21 verse 12. The righteous man wisely considereth the house of the wicked, but Yahweh overthroweth the wicked for their wickedness. That's what these devils constantly plan, man. Okay? They have all these secret councils and meetings and things like that. Okay? And jailbait is constantly buying up farmland. Alright? With your lab grown meat and things like that. See, we don't walk on in ignorance. You see, we constantly stay circumspect and search out what's going on and happening, around the world. Okay, that's what the righteous man does. He considers the house of the wicked. Okay. All right. We watch as well as pray, and and informing you, notifying you of what they're doing. Okay, but the Lord is going to overthrow these devils, man, because if it was up to they were to rule continuously, they would destroy everything, every human, even themselves, the planet, life. Okay. That's why Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, has to stop this madman. He's the madman. You're going to have idiots out there that's going to look at us as if we're the mad ones for telling the truth and exposing the real madmen, the red Hebrew Right, this fugitive, this vagabond. Okay, running the earth into a massive pit, depleting resources. Okay, pushing forth unrighteous decrees. You got people who genuinely want this society, especially Babylon the Great America, to continue. You must be out of your goddamn picking mind. These data centers are harmful. All right, even building them, constructing them, they clear large swaths of land. All right, destroying natural wildlife habitats as well. Animals getting displaced. Okay. Not to mention the air pollution and noise pollution that comes from it too. So it's hazardous for your health. Yeah. No, it went a bit further, but that's the spirit. Yeah. Government urged supermarkets to limit food prices according to reports. In fact, there was an article before. Treasury urges supermarkets to cap food prices to alleviate cost of living crisis. Chancellor's fears Iran war will push up bills even further for struggling households, but supermarket bosses planned desperate. Tuesday, 19th of May, 2026. But anyway, I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to say shalom to the Most High's elect and a bad babal.